Hey everyone! Today I'll be flipping through my 2025 A6 Hobonichi HON. For this planner specifically, then I decided to name her Sierra, as I like to do with all of my planners and journals. And for this planner specifically, I actually used it mainly for memory keeping, just because I did have a completely separate planner, which was my Sterling Ink Common Planner. I do have a full flip through of that I can link right here in case you haven't seen it. But starting off with these vertical index pages at the beginning, I basically wrote like one line a day just to kind of describe what happened every single day of the year. For the December 2024 calendar, I used that to basically track the advent calendar gifts from my sister for 2024. I just thought that was a nice way to use up that calendar. And as we get into the monthly calendars here, then as you can see, I decided to use all of these calendars throughout the year of 2025 to do something that I like to call my daily doodles. And similar to the indexing that I did at the beginning of the book, kind of with that one line a day, this is essentially like the visual representation of that. Kind of like where I would draw either the highlight of the day or maybe like the most important thing that happened that day. And yeah, I've been doing this for a very long time now. It's actually been over 7 years where I've been doing this every single day, and I have just been really loving it. It's definitely a part of my daily planning and journaling routine, so I am very much a visual person, and so being able to have all of these different avenues of like memories, whether it be like journal entries or like actual physical doodles, I think is very helpful for me to just remember different things that happened throughout my life. So I didn't do anything with the January through March 2026 calendars. I just didn't feel like I needed to fill those up. And then I did write just a quote from Kiki's delivery service for this blank Turning the Page to a New Year spread. So I just wrote that out with some faux calligraphy and the Wearing Gold Tinkerbell ink that I very much love. And then now we move on to the daily pages. So you'll see for that blank first page proceeding into like the daily spreads for the month, then I basically just used that section for kind of like a month in pictures section. So I would just print out a collage of images from the month and use my HP Sprocket printer to print that out from my phone and then just cut them out and paste them in. It's something that I've been doing for several years, and again, like I mentioned with the daily doodles, I really love having different visuals to be able to look at and remember throughout different times of my life. So that is kind of the explanation for that. Now, in terms of the actual daily pages themselves, then I'm not sure how interesting this will be for many of you, but essentially what I did was I just journaled every single day. There were a few days that I didn't get a chance to journal, but then I did catch up on it like either the next day or a few days after that, and I just basically did like a recap of those few days. But yeah, for 2025 then I filled up every single one of these daily pages, and something that I really enjoyed about the journal entries was I wanted to try and find different gel pens in my collection to kind of go with like the monthly color, since Hobonichi has like different colors for every month. So I decided that I would just try and find like an ink color that matched it. So I thought that was a lot of fun to try and curate. For the month of January, then I thought that the Sakura Jelly Roll Moonlight and the pale brown color matched the closest out of everything that I had in my collection, and I thought that it worked out nicely. For the month of February, then I thought that the Zebra Sarasa Vintage Brown Black color matched pretty nicely, and now that we are in March, this one is specifically the Uniball One Blackberry Sorbet. Now, a few of these Uniball Ones were part of like limited edition collections, and so unfortunately I'm not sure if you can still find them anywhere. There are a few of them that were from like that Night Cafe collection that came out in like 2024, I believe, but I thought that these were close enough matches in terms of what I had. I found that a lot of the gel pens that I thought matched pretty closely to some of these colors were also from the Zebra Sarasa Vintage line, and those are still very popular and readily accessible, so you should still be able to get your hands on those. But yeah, I just really loved being able to fill up the entire page with a color that somewhat resembled the monthly color of like the ruling inside of the book. I just thought that it was very cohesive and just a little more interesting than what I would typically do with like just my black gel pen and like my planner. So it was just kind of a nice contrast in that way. But yeah, in terms of my thoughts for this planner, I just thought that it worked out so beautifully. Now I want to go ahead and preface that I am definitely the type that prefers to just have like as few of planners and journals that I'm in as like at a time. So I actually didn't intend to ever pick up a Hobonichi at the start of 2025, but this one was actually gifted to me from my sister, and I really wanted to make sure that I tested it out and used it to its full potential. I didn't want it to go to waste by any means, and so this was just the way that I wanted to use it for 2025. And I'm so incredibly thankful that she sent it to me, because it really just opened my eyes to the world of Hobonichi and just how adorable their products are. And it was this specific planner that ultimately made my choice for my planner for 2026, because as some of you may know, I just ended up picking up the same Hiroko Kubota Hobonichi HON, same size and everything, the A6, just in the 2026 version. So it has like a different design and stuff, but it's by the same artist. I just really love her style. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be in a Hobonichi HON again. I just really loved using this one last year. This was my first time using an A6 journal as well as a Hobonichi product. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. Until my sister got me this, I wasn't really ever planning on trying Hobonichi products. Personally, I kind of felt like they were a little overrated, but like I said, I'm very thankful that she decided to send this my way anyway, because she is very much a fan of Hobonichi products, and now I am as well. So thank you to my sister for sending this to me. Otherwise, I probably would have never bought it for myself. I wouldn't have been able to experience it. So yeah, I just really don't have any complaints about it. Now, that is coming from someone who really did not use like fountain pens and fountain pen inks in this book. I know that for the past few years now, ever since the Tomoe River paper started getting manufactured by the Sanzen company, I know that there has been a lot of like discrepancies and just inconsistencies with the paper, especially with fountain pen inks. But because I mainly used gel pens, and then like for my doodles, then that's like with a fine liner, then I really didn't have any issues with the paper. But your experience may be completely different, especially depending on the products that you use. So just go ahead and take my opinion with a grain of salt. But in terms of using gel pens on it, then I thought that it performed perfectly fine. Going into it, then I knew that the Tomoe River paper is just a lot thinner than what I was used to. I came from bullet journaling for like the previous 7 years or so, and in more recent years leading up to me getting a sterling ink and Hobonichi, then I was using Archer and Olive journals, and so they were of course very thick paper, 160 GSM. So I knew moving into like Hobonichi and sterling ink products with the Tomoe River paper, having those be like the 52 GSM, I was expecting like the ghosting and also just kind of feeling like the indentation or like the imprint of my handwriting on like the back side of the paper, just kind of feeling like the different texture and whatnot. But I just was prepared and knew that going into it, and thankfully I didn't have like any bleed through issues. But again, that's coming from someone who didn't really use fountain pens in this journal specifically. So however, for my 2026 Hobonichi HON, then I am currently using a fountain pen in there. So I guess we'll see if that ends up like changing my opinion of like the Hobonichi product by the end of the year. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I would love to know how your planners worked out for you for 2025. Did you use a Hobonichi or a sterling ink common planner, or just anything with like the Tomoe River paper? And Did you have any issues with it on your end? What products do you like to use in your planners? Are you a fountain pen person, or do you prefer like gel pens or like ballpoints and whatnot? Then please do let me know and we can chat about it. I love hearing from you guys and I really appreciate your feedback. But yeah, I guess I'm not really sure how interesting this flip through is going to be for some of you. Personally, for me, I really love flipping through this planner specifically. I feel like this one is personally more satisfying for me to flip through than my Sterling Ink Common Planner. And I think the reason behind that is because the Common Planner is very much like planner and like productivity and stuff. I did have like stickers and decorating and like journal entries in that too, but I think what I really love about this Hobonichi specifically is just that it wasn't too serious. It was very just like straightforward and intentional with exactly like the direction that I wanted it to go in. For the monthly pages, it was very simple, just drawing like my daily doodles and stuff, and then every single day whenever I would have time, I would just come down and just journal about like whatever was on my mind. If there was something that I may have forgotten to write about from like yesterday or like the previous few days, then that would be a good opportunity for me to write about it then and just kind of put some closure to that or something. Sometimes it would just be like instances of me talking about my cats and something silly that they did, or like a funny conversation that I had with my husband, or something that we like did together. Unfortunately, there are some entries where I kind of complain about work. I hope I'm like not alone in that though, because I don't know. But anyway, I mean, I tried not to get like too deep and like emotional, I guess, with my journal entries, especially in this one, just because I knew that it was something that I was going to be showing on camera and flipping through at the end of the year. And I do have like a completely separate like diary where I do all of like those very deep personal thoughts that I don't really show on camera pretty much like ever, aside from like the cover, but I don't like flip through it or anything. So I think that that's just kind of a good way to like, I don't know if like anyone else would even like have the need for this, but I think probably just a good way to practice like my filter and like self-awareness when I'm like journaling in like my Hobonichi per se, something that is going to be shown to the public. I don't want it to be like too deep or like too intense or anything, just because like, I don't know, I think it's kind of shitty to just like trauma dump onto like random people online. So I would rather just kind of keep all of that stuff like in a separate journal that only I can read. I don't know if any of this is making sense. I'm kind of just rambling at this point. I didn't really like prepare anything to talk about in this flip through. I kind of just wanted to wing like the voiceover because I just wanted this one to be a lot more casual. I felt like for the Common Planner flip through, there were a lot of things that I wanted to address, but for this Hobonichi one, since it was just kind of like a fun planner slash journal for me, then I wanted to keep this flip through just a little more casual and chill, like not too specific on any like topics or anything. But yeah, anyway, going back to like, I don't know how interesting like these flip throughs are for you, but yeah, it's just really exciting for me to be able to actually see the entire year and see the entire book like all written in, and just flip through it and appreciate like the ink colors that I try to match with every single month. I guess to share some highlights from 2025, I don't know if anyone's like interested in this or anything, but I guess like at the start of the year, then my husband and I bought a brand new car, and that was very exciting. And then in April, then I got to go see and actually meet James Bay, who's one of my absolute favorite musical artists as of like recent years, so that was very exciting. And then also that spring, my husband and I got to go to Virginia to go see my brother and his family for the first time. Yeah, we got to spend a week with them and just be out like kind of on like the East Coast for that week, so that was very interesting and just a really good time to be with family. Then going to December, we got to go see Midland in concert. I think this was like the second time that we got to see them, and it was amazing. We were right at the front row and got to like shake hands with them and everything, so that was amazing. And then my husband and I celebrated another anniversary together in October, and then for Thanksgiving, then my husband and I actually made our very first Thanksgiving meal together. Even though we've been together for like almost a decade now, then this was our very first time ever making a turkey together, so that was a lot of fun. And then yeah, just a very wonderful Christmas season, getting to spend time with family and seeing my brothers that I haven't been able to see in a few months, so that was very lovely. You'll see here that I have like the different inks listed out, and I'm sorry I kind of like never even talked about the remaining months and what pens I used for those, but in case you're curious, there's that page that you can screenshot. Otherwise I'll also have them like written down below in the description. But yeah, now that we get into the like final pages of the book, then there are a few of like these just blank graph pages in the back that I decided to essentially do like a monthly recap. And so on each page I would just print out like a full-sized image from my HP Sprocket, just to like encapsulate the month in one picture. But we'll go ahead and like kind of flip through these final pages together. I didn't really fill them out. I filled out like some of the favorites and stuff, and it's funny because like a lot of them aren't my favorites by any means. You'll see that I gave some things like some kind of crappy ratings. And then for my 100, I figured I would go ahead and just write down like my top 100 songs that I listened to from the year. I just got it off of like my Apple Music replay of 2025 list. But yeah, I did just try to fill out like a few of these pages back here, but I didn't take them too seriously and I wasn't like too concerned about making sure everything was completely filled back here. But yeah, that is basically it for my Hobonichi HON. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Sorry about like all the rambling and being all over the place, but I had so much fun being in this planner, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the flip through and just kind of enjoyed hearing about like my experience with it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know what planners you used for 2025 and how those went for you. Are you switching things up for 2026? Please let me know. I love hearing from you guys, and I will see you in the next one.